Hey guys, so earlier on in the month, I had a conversation about IPO lockups and of course the cost to borrow and short selling. So I want to lean on that a little bit more because Uber just came off its IPO lockup. So this is really cool. This is a good time to learn a little bit more about IPO lockups and how they can affect the price of a stock and your shares, as well as how you can profitably trade around these IPO lockups.
I just want all of the money. Do you know what I said? I gotta get the dinero, the cash, and the bread. Money. Do you know what I'm...
Uber insiders have made a crap load of money, with all these additional insiders now finally able to sell their shares that they had made an enormous killing off of. It definitely was going to bring down the price of Uber stock, and I definitely wanted to take advantage of this. I tried to short Uber directly a couple times through a couple different brokers. Not a single one of them could locate shares for me to short. I need to find a direct access broker that will allow me to get locates on some of these shares. That's one of my objectives. But going beyond that, it's actually pretty hard to locate shares of Uber stock. Keep in mind, the stock is on a lockup period. So essentially 75% of the stock, the shares outstanding, have not even hit the market for trading. And unfortunately for me, my broker could not locate any shares for me to short sell, so I had to buy 10 put options on Uber. I know you guys might be thinking that, hey, you know, this Uber trade, this is potentially a one-off, this IPO lockup is just a bunch of BS. But truthfully, this has happened with Beyond Meat, this has happened with Lyft, this has happened with a lot of other names. So I think it was a reasonably good gamble to take. Like I was saying, a lot of money needed to find a new home with a lot of insiders, basically, who definitely wanted to lock in some of their gains on this massive run that they had in Uber stock. I heard that Gary Vaynerchuk, if he would have invested $25,000, it would have been worth in the 7-8 figure range. A lot of these people who were in on the inside very early on could, sell and realize their gains, and no one wants to lose out on gains. So that's why I took the trade. I took a short position on Uber, knowing a lot of shares were gonna hit the market, forcing the price of Uber stock down. Now, you guys might be like, Mr. Frugal, if you would have just kept the put positions a little bit longer, you would have made a lot more money. And to that I say, yes, you're absolutely right. I would have made a lot more money. I would have probably doubled my profit, not a lousy 1,600. It would have probably been 3,000. My intention was, I saw the tape was actually trading back up, and I was right on the timing. Right after I sold my put options, the tape traded back higher above 29.30, 29.40. The plan was for me to then short the stock, but once again, I can't find a broker who can locate me shares between my 4 brokerage accounts. And then I was like, do I really wanna do this options thing again? This is kind of inconvenient. And hindsight being 2020, I should have bought the put options again after the tape turned negative again. And this is a lesson for next time. But overall, I was still pretty happy. I made $1,600 on the trade. It was a very easy trade. Pretty much everyone saw this one coming. Everyone did. And sometimes people take the contrarian trade. They'll buy you have to be an idiot to buy into this lockup. I hope no one took a contrarian trade on this. I really, really, really hope no one took a contrarian trade. Shame on you. Keep this in mind for your next lockup. And also, one of the key things that I think really made this a sweet deal with Uber was, once again, the value of Uber stock it IPO'd at 70 billion market valuation. At that valuation, no one buying the shares at $45 a share, they're not gonna make any money. It's a heavy valuation. A lot of the growth is already factored in. I mean, what are you really buying as a growth name at that point? How much more can they really grow, right? Even at 44 billion, a growth valuation is hard to really factor in at that valuation. A lot of growth has already been priced into the stock, right? A name that's very bloated, this short selling or buying puts into the lockup expiration makes a lot of sense. But sometimes when valuations are more in line with reality, it doesn't make sense. Remember, do your homework, try to figure all this out. There's a lot of guesswork involved in the market. Sometimes you get screwed either way. Till next time, have a good one. So over here, we can actually see the costs associated with borrowing various stocks. In the case of NVIDIA, we're borrowing at a 0.25% annual percentage rate, which is actually an incredibly negligible rate that you'd be borrowing NVIDIA stock. You probably wouldn't even flinch to borrow NVIDIA stock, to short NVIDIA stock, if you felt like the price of NVIDIA was going to go down. However, when you start looking at names like Beyond Meat or Uber is about to come off its lockup period on Wednesday, November 6th. So it's important to keep this in mind when you go to actually short stocks, that, hey, there is some stocks that it's not that simple to short it, because you're paying an arm and a leg to borrow the shares to essentially short the stock.
I just want all of the money.